Hello, this is my entry for the Deco Art Challenge. Here I am trying to lighten up my background just a little bit using blue paint so I don't totally overshadow the black, but you can see that won't work soon. Here I am cutting out my moths so I can have a more definitive shape for all of them instead of just vague corners and blobs. As you can see, this takes a little while for me to do. I mostly blame that on my hands starting to cramp, especially around now. Um, this challenge was a lot of fun for me to do, so I hope you guys like this because I had so much fun with this. Right here, I'm getting up to go get my paintbrushes because I forgot to grab those. And here I am grabbing a palette where I can put some glue so then I can glue down my moths onto the cardboard. Make sure they stick, just so I can see the templates easier so I can cut them out better and make sure they stay and I don't lose anything because that would suck. Here, I'm mostly working on my lunar or Luna moth. I'm not sure which one's the real name. I'm kind of getting mixed results from basically everywhere I look, but this one was probably the most tedious to make sure I cut right. And and then I had to glue everything to make sure nothing would just at this point, I'm like, you know what? I'll go ahead and glue everything down, make sure everything sticks before I continue cutting everything out, just so I don't lose anything important or that I want to pronounce on my moths. As you can see, I'm going around the edges of my paper templates that I made, and gluing them onto the cardboard just so they stay better. As you can tell, I have sped up all of my video clips just so we don't spend around 5 hours watching me do this. I would speed it up more, but I don't want to lose any more of the process. Um, also, I also just find this very interesting to watch, to see how it transforms and, my thought processes as I'm working on them. And now here you see me fiddling with some cardboard pieces, mostly because I wanted the wings to pop out more than the moths, the main body of the moths. Um, so you can see me working out a process to make the wings pop out a little more. Um, I struggled a lot with this, mostly because I only made one template for each moth, so making the wings was very difficult, I would say. Um, I'm here I am thinking. I think a lot. And here I am cutting apart the moth so that it can be reassembled on different pieces of cardboard. And here I had to go get a pencil so I could then draw on the wings again to then cut out, which then glue. It was a long process, honestly. I'm so glad I didn't do this for all of the moths, just for this one. Because I think if I did it for all of them, I probably would have quit much sooner than I would have liked. So, and again, here you can see me putting on the moths and or this moth and its wings so I can make it pop a little bit. And then you can see me here thinking about a different way to do it. And then, of course, I stopped the video because I needed a break and to think about a different way to do it. And then here, I did not realize the camera was pointing the wrong way. um, Overnight, I did figure out a way to actually do the wings, which mainly involved just hoping and praying, honestly. Um, and here I am painting my lunar moth and my, oh, is that my, I don't remember. I'm sorry, I forgot the name. I will include a list of all of the moths I have on my piece at the end of this video, just so you, just fun fact, like which ones I did. As you can see, I am putting on the first paints, or coat of paint for all of my moths. Just try to work through them all. I only did 13. I was going to do more, but I'm glad I didn't, because in the end, I kind of ended up almost running out of space on my piece. Here again, I am moving on to the next segment where I'm bringing back my board so I can work on this a little bit. And here I am putting on some glue so I can then glue my metal pipes, because I am making a tree base out of them. It was hard with just the glue, because the pipes just kept rolling around, and I very quickly learned that tape was a better method than glue, because again, here's the third time I've had to reshape them, and that was the only ones I had on camera. I had to do it multiple more times afterwards. Here I am adding details to one of my moths. Make it look all fancy and pretty. um, I really went way too into detail, I think, on a few of these. But it was a lot of fun, honestly. And then I'm working on my lunar moth, because originally I did glow in the dark paint, but it wasn't as, it was too opaque. Basically, you could see the paper underneath, and I did not like that. So I switched to a different green, in order to make it what the shade I needed it to look. And then here I am doing smaller details on the wings. This was a lot of fun, honestly. I love doing the little details because they're a lot more fun than the big ones, I think. And you won't see that moth for a while now, because I kind of gave up on that one. Also because I did not have brown for a lot of this project. And now here I am. I finally have brown. Or not even the right brown. I had to go out and get a big old tube of brown paint because I didn't have enough. Just because most of the moths are brown. And here I am just like retrimming some of the wing because it was a little too sharp in some points, and I needed to fix that because it just looked bad without it. And then I move on to, of course, a completely different moth, because God forbid I stick on one moth for more than 5 minutes, apparently. And this one was a little fuzzier, the body, so I wanted to make the body fluffier. So I added a paper towel. Of course, now you won't see it. And here I am doing more details. I called this one a rotten banana moth, but I know that's not the real name, but it's just what I call it for now. And here I am working on a different one for a few seconds, and then I move on to another one. Probably. Or not. I work on this one for a while. Can you tell I haven't rewatched these videos? I did not like how I did the wings on that one, so a lot of that was redone afterwards. And so was this one. This one, I did not like the color, because the color looked so bad once it finally dried. It just looked so dead and like lifeless. Sorry if you can hear a door creaking. I need to get some WD-40 on these hinges. But yeah, don't expect that one to stay the same shade, because I just did not like it, how it turned out, especially the wings. I hated it. So we'll get back to that one. And here I am with the fluffy one. It just looks so much more fluffy in the pictures, so I wanted to make that almost in, what I was working on, the cardboard. And here I am moving back to the base. It took so long for my base to dry that, again, I did move over to just using tape, because it was just so much easier for me to work with and so much quicker for me to just like bam, bam, next thing. And then here I am adding glue. Of course! And here I am adding some moving paper because we have recently moved, and I figured that could be upcycling. You know, but I needed to make it look like a tree. So I put in the paper in between the pipes just so it would look more, puffy almost. And then, of course, I also have some trash bags that I started just like tearing apart. Fun fact, those were so easy to tear apart that it kind of scared me how easily I did it. um, but here you see me just taping it all down, just making sure it's gonna stay for the glue to dry even. And then I get more glue and more paper bags, or not paper bags, but plastic bags. And here I am adding them to the trees so that they look tree-ish. You know, the verb. Do you look tree-ish today? I look tree-ish today. Here I am adding more glue, trying to make everything stay on the board, trying to make it look good, basically. I take a while during this part, mostly because nothing was cooperating very well. And here I'm putting on paper because it really brought the whole thing together, I think, and made it actually look like a tree. With the paper bags underneath making a texture, and then you can see a kitten under me. And back to the moths I go. Now I finally have brown paint and was able to really work on my moths. So, I mean, once I started these guys, I really finished it. Those wings, I wanted them to overhang on the lower wings just a little bit. Make them, look good. And back to this guy. He was fun to do. Mostly just waiting for the other brown one to dry while I do this one. Working on separate ones at separate times just so I can get it working. Keep myself busy while I work. Here you can see me doing details. I love my details. And here we pop back to this one, the one I wanted the wings to overhang a little bit more. Here I am just shading a little bit of my browns and yellows just to make it look realistic almost. I'm not saying they're realistic at all, but I'm saying they're a lot more realistic than they were when they first started out. So, again, I'm going crazy with my details and my shading and everything, and more brown, and I had to use so much brown paint. Of course, here are my major details on that moth, and back to my fuzzy guy. He was honestly one of the most fun ones to work on, and honestly, I'm very proud of how he turned out because he was so fluffy. And then here we go. Now we switch over to my orange one that I am repainting a different shade, mostly because, again, I did not like how dead it looked on the last one. Here I am taking a drink because, I've been working for almost an hour straight at this point. Here are my two smallest moths that I did. That one is called an IO moth. That one I remember. And here we go back to my base, where I am now covering my trees with paper to make them easier to paint, and I believe make them look more realistic. Again, not realistic, but best word I can come up with right now. So, realistic it is. Here I am adding some more metal pipes to make a few branches coming out of the one tree, and of course a few from the ground just to add some flavor, if you will. And here I am, this one. Okay, so right now I am adding grass. I did not realize my lamp was making it so bright that you could not see anything that I was doing. So that was amazing, right? And those two sticks or pipes, I'm adding strips from a fabric so that I can make them more bush-like, because I am making a honeysuckle bush for my snowberry clear-winged moth to go and get some honeysuckle from. He's gonna suckle on the honeysuckle, if you will. Here I am adding some leaves, just reshaping a few while I'm at it. You can't see because it's just out of camera frame. But I mean, with the lighting that my lamp gave, you probably wouldn't be able to see much anyway. Again, I am sorry about that. If I had realized, I probably would have redone it, but oh well. I can't figure out how to change it. I'm using CapCut. I don't know how to change it, mostly because I'm not a video editor, or this is my first time using this app, so I don't know what I'm doing. Here I am adding so many leaves. I added so many leaves to this stupid bush. It's not stupid. No, it's a stupid bush. Fight me. It's a stupid bush. Here I am, just, touching up a few other things really quick, like mostly just making sure that all of my paper is maybe like sticking down, making sure everything's staying where it should, gluing where it needs to be done, adding more tape. Again, you can't see because of my lamp. That lamp did me so dirty. I'm very mad at it right now. I did not realize how bad this footage was until just about now. I apologize. I truly do. I am so sorry. Ay. Sometimes you just gotta go, ay. And here I am making my honeysuckle flowers. It was not fun, honestly. I did not have a fun time doing these. Mostly because I started to just give up. But I didn't really give up. I mean, I did. I'm trying to add more petals to my flowers to make them more 3D-ish, but I don't think I did a very good job at it. So, I mean, tell me what I did wrong. Here I am going to get some embroidery string is what I call it, at least. I actually resourced this from an old project of mine that I did, so technically, still upcycling. And here I'm just making the pollen sticks and flowers, you know what they are. And here I am adding small little things from various things. I'm saying things a lot, but basically, I have these 2 boxes full of little beads from old bracelets, or I have those big round beads that you use for friendship bracelets. So I have them all color coordinated, and as you can see, I'm working with that. And I added it to the moths. And here I am trying again to lighten up my background just a little bit. You can see I gave up on lightening it. But here I am working on my trees, painting them, making them look good. Mostly just covering the first base, get that down. The first base is always the most annoying, I think, because it always takes so long to do. Again, I used so much brown paint during this whole thing. And here I am adding highlights with a lighter brown. And here I come back with a black paint because, again, the lightning was not working for me. Here, and yeah, I moved it. I'm painting my grass. I forgot. I looked up and I was like, hey, the camera can't see what I'm doing. Crap. So I moved my project. Very thankful I could, and I caught it so early, because that was embarrassing. But here I am now working on and now here I am just painting my leaves on my honeysuckle bush, trying to make that, look good. Just touching up the background, making sure my grass is done. I tried to go for like a meadow thing in the background, but it did not very work out. Here I am working on my honeysuckle flowers, painting them red, because red honeysuckle, according to Google, is the most common in Eastern America. And now here I am just making sure all my moths are good, moving stuff out of the way, getting my glue back out, and attaching my flowers and my moths to my base. And once this all dried up, I took it outside to take a little video for some close-ups. Of course, there are a few things that I wish I would touch up, but I'm done. I added some things to make it sparkle, make it look pretty, just pizzazz. And here is what I started out with and the finished project. This was fun.